Yeah, I got Three of Pentacles. I actually had that happen when I thought I was reuniting with Baron Samedi yesterday. That Maria Tavares of Paraffin took over a lot of his soul consciousness and gave it a Santa Muerte. And I don't know what's going on with that. I think they destroyed the original Santa Muerte, that Maria Blanco, or Cassandra Nunez or whatever. She stole my child consciousness. I'm going to say something right now. I've been wearing frankincense and myrrh. You know, hopefully she ain't fucking with it or attached to it. I've also been wearing, I'll try for some of this stuff here. I've also been wearing, what they call it? Not frankincense and myrrh. I got to be careful because this wetback did something to take over something that's very, very vital. Entity attachment. I got to figure out what it is, an entity attachment. But with that being said, I've been wearing Florida water, and none of that, you know, I felt her tearing through my etheric walls because she's been taking over my consciousnesses, my, you know, spirit guides, entity attachments, like I said, even Baron Samedi, and fucking with it. So all day I've been playing to get rid of energy vampires, 962 hertz. I heard 452 hertz. With all this evil shit, I actually had a little roach spirit almost capture her early this morning. I don't know how effective that truly is. I gotta get some fucking toiletries. I ain't got no whatchamacallit, so I have to use the pill right here to wipe off. But she corded me the fuck out. She corded out manipulating, I believe, Barron's family. I don't know what's going on with that. You know, I heard, you know, since July the 23rd, the most I had in terms of consciousness was my rudimental child consciousness, going back to childhood. That's all I got. I've been playing 6,000 hertz on this wetback. I just, you know, I got a frequency. I uploaded it on the channel. One of my channels, the Soul Collective, or Raven the Shaman, in which talks about how to remove higher selves, false higher selves. I know 1945 hertz can do it. I keep feeling this energy of, you know, don't, but, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to make things happen. And, you know, this is my body. You know, last time, a couple of days ago, I'm going to say something as well. She, from what I understand, got these people, their higher selves or something involved fucking with me, and sacrifice because it's walking around topless. I don't put up with that motherfucking shit. You know, I heard Barron's family saying, you know, you're gonna be under curse for the rest of your life. You don't want that shit. And again, I don't know if that's coming from that Cassandra Nunez, or because I know she was antagonizing me every time I would try to figure out what's going on with her. She would start fucking with my ass, and fucking with my ass royally. And blocking me from seeing what's going on. Every time I would try to, you know, take a more, a less narrow-minded perspective on what's going on with them people at 8704 Broadway. You know, with that being said, you know, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. It's the reason why I put this shit out there every single fucking day. But going back to Catherine's flowers, you know, I saw that their two higher selves were fucking with me and all that. Higher selves. I got an Esteban or Perez. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, because I don't need any more fucking curses. And, you know, like your boy or Cassandra Nunez or this Christy Nunez, I'm trying to figure out what her fucking real name is so I can nix this shit in the butt. It almost reminds me of how, you know, I was warned and I was shown, even by them road spirits low key, that them wetbacks were gonna, you know, set me up as a sacrifice, take all my spiritual abilities. You can use 446 hertz to get shit back, 17, 17, 14, 17, 15 hertz. You know, use, you know, my bloodline connecting me to Baron Samity to take all my shit and put it under Santa Muerte and all of that. And I saw my astral body parts along with Baron Samity's in her the other day. I had some road spirits try to put her together. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Because that Cassandra Nunez, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. You know, I know the one in the spirit plane was antagonistic and wanted me and Baron Samity for our ancestral money. You know, I had some cool people try to take her out. You know, going back to May the 1st, 2024, you know, it's about keeping me out of certain timelines. Going back to that time, keeping me from being alive again or something. Like I said, I saw a lot of weird shit, including my crystal here. It's a shame I can't have my shit out because that wetback bitch will invade it. That would change to blue. I heard that, you know, if you're alive, it'll be like a hot red. You know, you can see it right here. You taking over a lot of my body. And it's doing shit to, fuck me up. Can't even, fuck with that because she started fucking with it. Like I say, she took over some entity attachment that's being used to fuck me up right as I talk. And she's tearing me apart. The problem is, I'm going to say this right now. The problem with her is, and I say this about Santa Muerte before, I feel her doing some deception in my own fucking body as I talk. I felt, spirit guides come from out of there and try to help. But like I said, had some spirit guys try to come out and, fight her just now. She disconnected me from a part of my, etheric body. Like I said, I've been wearing Florida water, frankincense, and myrrh all day, all yesterday, and, trying to solve this in a very, very safe manner, because the shit, I had one shit all out there. With that being said, like I say, the problem with Santa Muerte is she's not an autonomous being. She has to act through your higher to higher selves for her to have any meat, or for her to act through, or for her to be effective, she has to, your higher to higher self acts as her. She's not autonomous like a Baron Samedi and all of that. I heard in the spirit plane, she constantly trying to recruit somebody. I heard Patrick Swayze. To become her and all of that, to give him some meat. And she was offering him money and all that shit. And, not me because of my bloodline, but I saw that wetback was going to take me straight to a hell realm. And I don't, Cassandra Nunez and all that. I ain't got time for that shit. And I actually was shown by them road spirits. I heard myself in the astral plane stuck in her. Her realm is composed of the primordial darkness, which was rendered through Satan. And from what I understand, she's, her name is Telemunez or something. I gotta fix my fucking body. I was playing 962 hertz, try to put myself back together. I'm gonna start playing 6,000 hertz. And making them spirits, just like with the, whatchamacallit, frankincense and myrrh and all of that, work with me. Because you can't be going through hell to get your shit back and constantly being fucking tormented. It's like every time I try to get my shit back, I can literally feel entity attachments and all of that fight me, like I did with Zendaya, Reese Taylor and all of that. I heard their timelines are covered in that August 22nd, 2022 timeline by the Rothschilds, Adam Weishaupt. I heard that they, and I felt it as well, so they took control of my consciousness. They keep trying to fucking come into my timelines through a great Ashkenazi Jewish grandmother. They keep trying to take over, and it's hard as hell to try to get rid of them. With that being said, it's hard to try to get them motherfuckers out. It's some of the most sadistic ass psychopathic motherfuckers you can fucking think of. I feel something. I feel her pulling my etheric body apart right now as I speak. I'm being tormented really fucking bad. Felt something sit on the bed right there. I gotta get this wetback bitch the fuck out because I'm being tormented really, really bad. I saw Baron Samedi appear in the physical. I saw Ilegua, same thing with him. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with that. I ain't got time to play with this shit. I gotta vet through the information before. I feel shit pulling. You know, Ilegua's real name is Elizondo Salazar. I feel something pulling, you know, my head right now to fuck with me, man. It's all this evil ass shit that I gotta fix. You know, I had Zendaya through Hike, who's, you know, a real name I know, giving me, you know, fake ass fucking, whatchamacallins, like entity attachments of my consciousness. The minute I had that child spirit guide putting me back together using 3002 hertz combined with 135 hertz, or 125 hertz, she instantly came in and just shut us down. Like, I'm not entitled to my own fucking body parts. Like, I don't have a right to get my own fucking body parts back. You know, you can use 295 hertz, 295 combined with 695 hertz. I'm going to have to do something drastic today to get my shit back. I can't, 446 hertz to get stuff back. 1714, 1715 hertz. I no longer feel connected for some strange reason. This is the most evil ass shit to have on you, and it's her. So I'm going to have to do something drastic. I almost felt her controlling and blocking, I think, after taking over Baron Samity's soul, you know, consciousness and all of that within. Blocking my ability to play frequency to get shit back, and I felt it. You know, I'm going to say something right now. Your timelines and the people that's involved in them timelines are within and extend outward. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and throw these cards. It's getting worse and it's getting more fucking sadistic. I almost don't have an Archangel Michael. Now, I don't know what's going on with the original Baron Samedi, supposedly with the original entity attachment of him or whatever, but I don't know. I'm just going to say right now, I'm not in a very good place. I had that child trying yesterday. I was getting exacerbated. I'll be told, don't do this, don't do that. You know, it's just, if a person is coming up with solutions, you make it work. And that's how spirits are supposed to do on the other side. I shouldn't have to, you know, because they removed my God too. I have to wait till the point where I lose everything before I get rebuilt. And, you know, I shouldn't have to experience or suffer having things constantly come in and take and pick on me and shit and be made to physically feel it. That little fucker would try her best, man, but you can't endure that. All right, so in the obstacle position, we got the Seven of Cups. And I feel like you're going through some extremely evil, some extremely oppressive that's holding you back. And that's keeping you from your Seven of Cups. I don't know. All right, so in the present position, you got the Three of Pentacles. And I feel like you're going through a lot of hell to make something work with a spirit team. Six of Swords is going to be the future position, and I feel like you're going in the right direction. Beware of deception, like with me. Make sure people ain't giving you false shit. With that being said, Queen of Wands, that's your subconscious, and I feel like you have somebody that shouldn't be there that's dominating and causing you a lot of fucking problems. The Moon, and that's your future position. A lot of my child consciousness stolen by Zendaya and Hecate. A lot. I feel like I'm being manipulated. Say certain shit because they're going to use it against me. With that being said, the Eight of Swords. That's the advice card. Oh, the Moon is subconscious. That's to take the initiative, to take things into your own hands, do power retrieval, reclaim your power back. 446 hertz is the key for that. 195 hertz is to harness the power of your ancestors. Eight of Swords is the advice card, and something is telling you to take a look at where you're at and make the decision not to stay stuck. Five of Swords is the energy all around you. You got very pernicious motherfuckers that's feeding off of you, benefiting off of you and all of that. Judgment. Fears in your hopes card. You're stuck in a very fucked up position where you're going to get blocked from being able to go further. The Lover's card. I believe you can overcome this. The Lover's card. There's going to be motherfuckers trying to block you, but you'll be able to overcome it. With that being said, if you want a more personalized reading, please contact me at ravenbyterror22@yahoo.com. Peace. It's weird. I just noticed that this motherfucker um was filming, didn't film what I was talking about earlier. So anyways, let me go ahead and repeat what I was saying. It's kind of weird over there, by the way. I mean, look at what do they call that? The lights over there look mad weird. And plus earlier, I swear I saw some like shadow people. They came outside while this man was passing by, and then they went back inside, and it seemed like one of them seemed like it shapeshifted and changed colors into like regular colors and all. But I want to go ahead and make this very quick. Now they got this hypocrite here on YouTube. I really don't like that guy, and I don't like his energy. It's something about him, like, you can tell a sociopath because certain things about him is registered based on how certain, facial, eye movements and all of that, they don't move correctly like they should. This guy here, he has like an evil energy, even though he presents himself as a Christian and all. There's some really bad energy about this dude that I really don't like. He's more like the type who's dogmatic, and a couple of times I've caught him on YouTube talking about, how he's disrespected homeless people, walk past them, don't do shit. Oh, they're on their own. He doesn't have true Christ consciousness like a lot of crackers don't actually have. They'll sit up there and pronounce that shit and take and distort things like what they're doing here. Like, as you can see on my arm there, you see the Eye of Horus, and then turn around and pervert those same symbols. Like, for instance, I think the reason why I was, sent to do these videos and such and so forth and so on is because I want to go ahead and represent the Eye of Horus, the Eye of Ra, Horus, the real deity, as well as Minerva. People think that those deities and the symbols that accompany them, the owl and all of that, they're somehow inexorably, bad. They're linked to bad things, and that's not really so. Just like in the case of Jesus Christ and the image that's, forecasted through Jesus Christ and everything and all. Jesus Christ isn't, really the concept of it. Christ, it's not really, innately bad. It's just that people use it for bad measures and to push bad agendas. It's the same thing with the deity Horus. Horus is, from what I heard, from what I understand, they're upset because they're used by the elite, mostly white folks. Don't get fooled by this whole Jewish thing, because whites, just like they project that blacks are to blame for slavery, since they don't want to take responsibility, a lot of it's just sociopathic. They do the same thing with Jews. They try to put all their worst traits on Jews and use Jews as a scapegoat, when it's Jews who are at the forefront of, caping for blacks, like the formation of the NAACP. Yeah, it was by Jews. But if it wasn't for Jews, a lot of you would not have your fucking rights, because y'all didn't have the tenacity, the wherewithal to fight for it. And just like I did a video, I think I talked about this recently. A lot of blacks have low self-esteem and you want to be accepted by whites. So, whatever they say and do, you for instance, the whole anti-feminist movement thing, it's like they want to emulate whites in an attempt to try to get their success, and that's why a lot of races don't respect you all, while in the meantime, they're telling you worship cracker Christ, and all the while, they're taking your ancient school mystery religions and ancient school mystery knowledge, and not only stealing them for themselves and their own, and to fit their own agenda and all, but also warping them as well to advance, their ends, their agenda and stuff and so forth and so on. Now, the reason why I brought up that guy is because he has this YouTube channel, the white dude that I'm talking about. I don't like that guy. I really don't like him. I think he's located out here in Santa Monica, if I'm not mistaken. I think he out as a sociopath. He got some demonic shit on that dude. Like, he'll talk about Christ consciousness and, Christ and all of that in a dogmatic, strictly like a literal Pharisee-like sense, if you know what I mean. But he really doesn't follow true Christ consciousness. I really don't like that dude. Never did. But he does great YouTube videos where he talks about, here's the next disaster, and this is when the next disaster will strike, and all this shit, blah, 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 blah. And in one video, he showed on how on a dollar bill, he was indicating how the elites feel like, he was saying that this is, the next disaster that the elites are going to orchestrate, which is like some huge monumental flood. Now, just earlier tonight, I had this nightmare. Now, you see in the distance there that red, not on the car, but you see a little bit further up. Okay, with the lights and all that. I don't know if you can see that. But okay, see how that, it's usually not that dark over there like that. It's the park right across the street from where I'm sleeping at. And it's funny too, because I woke up at 12 fucking midnight, sharp on the dot, on the dash. But you see, okay, better yet, you see where that, see, it's Okay, you see where where my fingers point with that red light, that little red light in the distance is very tall, like it's on the tall building and stuff. I remember having a nightmare that a flood that's that significantly high was going to hit Los Angeles. Now, you stupid motherfuckers don't come on here saying we even got LA. I mean, people been having dreams and visions and shit like that for fucking years. But, that guy tends to be, he's an artist as well, and he tends to be eerily right. So, there may be something to it. So, anyways, I had this nightmare recently tonight and all, where I saw and envisioned that there was going to be something similar to that. For some strange reason, in the dream, I was working as some maid or something, and it was raining profusely. And I got the sense that there was going to be this huge ass fucking flood, and something was telling me run to a building that's high very quickly. And everybody else, they didn't take the news reports of serious incremental flooding very seriously and all of whatever and whatnot. But I did. So I remember running into this apartment building that seemed like it was modernistic. It's actually a place I've been to in the Astro countless times, many times before. That's why I say it could be some type of, some people have reported ET manipulation with all of these things, whether it's true or false. Like I say, ever since the days of sightings, I've been seeing shit like that. And again, I'm going to run your ass off if you come on here saying, really, you need to leave California. Don't disrespect me by projecting and pushing your personal opinion upon me and pushing it on my body and on me without my fucking consent. I'm not gonna tolerate that shit. I want you off my channel if you're like that. You're not gonna come on here and disrespect me and try to impose your silly ass way of viewing the world on me. At the end of the day, if that's the case, that's why I moved from those places that are full of people like you, because I don't want to live around intolerant, narrow-minded, slow-witted, very egotistical ass people like you. I had to call somebody else, out on that shit a while back. I think his name is DMT Freak or something. I don't want to live around that shit. He had the nerve to talk shit and talk shit about transgenders and all of that shit. I don't tolerate that. But then throw in my face, I gave you a donation. I'm like, no, I don't want people like you following me on all my shit. You ain't on my wavelength. You ain't on my levels. Stay the fuck off of here. I don't want that shit. You ain't gonna come on here and disrespect me and act like you got the right to impose your fucking judgment and opinion like you know it, like I don't know shit. So you gotta tell me what to do. But get your ass off my fucking channel. But because I'm gonna call people out. I don't tolerate that shit. I don't put up with no bullshit. Not getting back to as what I was saying before. I saw in this dream, in this nightmare rather, this event unfolding, and before then there was a couple of other crazy ass things that was going on. I forgot exactly what it was, but it all correlated to that, and it was very vivid. Not only that, but I'm on my period right now as well, and whenever I'm on my period I have heightened psychic experiences, which is why I just decided to wake up, and I swear, like in my mind's eye, and even kind of like in the reflection of the window here, I saw like this old white man who reminded me of Philip K. Dick, with a white beard, square head. I don't know if it's something that's taking imagery out of my mind. I really don't know. And I saw him kind of like looking in. I think he's more of like the watcher type. Like, he's not going to be somebody who's going to do shit to me or anything like that, do any harm. But the dream followed after I thought about my destiny and all of the, stuff that, I need to do that I'm supposed to do with my life and all that stuff and everything. But and I'm saying this to say, and I'm gonna do a video talking about how like a lot of our ancient symbols, our heroes and stuff, the Heru, Hetero, whatever the fuck they want to call that, are being perverted, by the elite. They're not really bad signs and symbolisms in and of themselves, like Minerva and all of that, but they're being used to push bad agendas. It's no different than the whole thing with Jesus Christ and how that was used to push a bad agenda, starting at the Council of Nicaea when it was first conceived and created, by the Romans, and then perverted out, into this dogmatic religion where there's no spirituality in it whatsoever, none. That's why most Christians, if you want to look at the biggest devils and demons, go into any church on any given fucking Sunday. Some of the most intolerant, bigoted assholes, judgmental minded motherfuckers are caught up in the church. And on top of that as well, they're also not the most protected spiritually. So that's why, in terms of witchcraft and all, they're the easiest people to get. You see them go online and talk about, oh, I keep seeing things, I keep calling Jesus Christ, but it doesn't help. That's because they're not spiritual people. They're dead, empty. They follow a dogma, and that's about it, and that's all. Now, returning back to the dream, the feeling I got was that it was going to be this 60 feet fucking wave, like this really huge wave. And the weather was inclement that day. It was like rainy like a motherfucker. And, people kept getting, it was enunciated all over the radio and the airwaves and stuff, whatever and whatnot, that there was going to be a huge wave that was going to hit. A huge wave was going to hit us, and a huge wave was going to hit us. And I was just like, what the fuck? And it's the vividness of it. Like I said, I mean, people been getting visions like that and shit for years and all. It doesn't mean it's going to come true. I remember since like 1999 watching shows like Sightings, and there were people on there talking about, oh yeah, California's gonna break up and this shit's gonna happen and that shit's gonna happen, and who really knows what's true or not. And people would actually give firm dates too. 2004 is gonna happen. California's still here. This is gonna happen. That's gonna happen. Um, but in this nightmare, the sense that I got, it was this strong sense of urgency. Like, I got to get the fuck up out of here. You have to move to higher, land, and how a lot of people were going to be eliminated in the course of this, most ordinary folks at that. The rest of the dream, because I don't have that much on my cell phone, 'cause for some strange reason, update was, moving up and everything and all. There was a lot of other layers to it too, but I remember the intensity, the worrying about it, the thinking to myself, because my parents are like, hey, you should come back home, but I don't fit out there. That's not home for me. I mean, every place I've ever lived, I've been an outcast, and LA is the home of the outcast. That's why I feel of all of the other places where I've resided, including New York City. This is why I don't like people telling me, well, you need to move it. You don't know shit. Most of y'all are fucking stupid and naive and narrow-minded as fuck. I can't stand a narrow-minded person who doesn't have a lot of knowledge about things. They don't have an open level of consciousness like I got, and yet they got the nerve to want to castigate and judge and decide what you should do with your own life and with your own body without taking how you feel into account. I got guides on deck, bitch. At the end of the day, I got shit that's telling me this is what you need to do. This is what's good for you. This is what's part of your divine plan and destiny. Do not get in the way, because I got spirits on deck that will hurt you and destroy you. Um, Stupid motherfucker talking about you meant to be a teacher. Bitch, you talking to a motherfucker that aborted two of her fucking fetuses. Man, you better get the fuck up out of here, nigga, fall off your ass up as a sacrifice so I can get more blessings in my life. I donated, bitch. I'll donate your ass right back to Lord Satan. Let me stop. Stupid motherfucker. I'll let you know the time of the day and who you dealing with. People like that just want to choke them. Shit, I swear. But, fucking moon up there. But, as I was saying before, see, I'm trying to remember the rest of that fucking dream. I can't remember it off the top of my head. But it was extremely scary and very multifaceted. I remember hearing something on the radio about inclement weather, excuse me, inclement weather, I was just going to be bad prodigiously, and it was going to go on and go on and go on, and how there was going to be a huge fucking wave and there's going to be no survivors. And I thought the first thing that came to my mind that I thought of while dreaming that was that his name is Jonathan Kleck or some shit like that. That's the guy's name, Jonathan Kleck. He has a YouTube channel on here, and how he unfolded the dollar bill and revealed that the next man-made natural disaster was going to be. Okay, no, it's just a person. I think it's something else. Okay. But it made me think about this guy's predictions and how it could possibly correlate to this. I think personally we're in for some pretty wild fucking time. Let me see how many minutes I got. Okay. Um like a fucking person, the distance over there. That spot up there. You don't see that spot? That black way up there. That shit ain't coming from my car either. But suffice it to say, because there were so many aspects to this. I can't really recall off the top of my head, but I remember the sense of panic. I think I was driving or something. I was still in this position where I was semi-homeless. But it seemed like I was a white woman in this dream, and I was working for this wealthy family, and I was begging them for shelter, and they were like, "Well, you can't stay here, and you have to think about it." Or I think I went into this stranger's house. I was begging them, "Hey, man, can I stay here?" But it was very fucking weird. I think that the amount of battery just went down because something decided to download on my fucking cell phone. Some stop that shit, some update. But I remember trudging through, yeah, and begging the people for shelter. And I remember at one point, before then, it seemed like I was out at Venice Beach or something, Santa Monica. It actually looked a lot like this building out here, like one of them apartment complexes that's at that location. And I remember I was by neutral ground, some shit to that effect. I mean, before people talk shit, look at the disaster that hit New Orleans East where I grew up in. You had 15 fucking tornadoes out there that just recently hit. So no place is safe. Y'all are stupid. Most people are fucking dumb and stupid. That's why I don't take their fucking advice. I let my guides guide me. After all, my guides guided me to this great ass car that I'm driving right now. You can even see it indicated on the license plate. You got the 3 6s and the 2. So, don't tell me shit. I'm letting my guides guide me. Now that said, to all of you out there, tell me what you think. I'm quite certain that more nuances to this dream is going to come back to me, but I remember getting a sinking suspicion that you need to move further inland. Like the more inland you move, the better you be. And I remember getting the feeling that on the radio, this had been building up for months. So, again, tell me what you think. Anyways, like right after that shit, I had a hard time going back to sleep. And I'm not gonna lie, I was actually watching, something about tiny homes and how the cops and the state is refusing to build them, and the unfortunate position, unfair position that is, rather that they put homeless people in out here, by refusing them shelter and because of their greed and their desire, I'm guessing, to want to wipe certain segments of the population out.